Hello students, today we are going to study biology class 6 and today we are going to complete half of the chapter left of chapter number 1 and please turn your pages to page number 15. So as you know that plants keep on absorbing water from the soil and the absorbed water from the soil through roots is being transported to rest of the parts of the plants. So sometimes what happen, plant have extra water and the plant need to remove this extra water from the body of the plant, and as such the plants constantly lose water vapor through their tiny pores. Okay, as you know that the leaves of the plants have the tiny pores or openings which is known as the stomata. Through this stomata plant lose the excess water in the form of water vapor into the air, and the process of evaporation of water from the leaves of plants is called transpiration. So in simple words we can say that transpiration means loss of water in the form of water vapor from the leaf surface. So these water vapor present in the air, they help in bringing out the rains. And this fact that plant lose water through their tiny pores can be demonstrated by a simple experiment. What you are supposed to do, you have to take a well plotted plant and then cover the leaves of the plants with the white polythene and then seal it with the white cello tape. Then leave the plant for 2 to 3 hours. After 2 to 3 hours, what you will observe that tiny water droplets are visible in the inner side of the polythene. So the tiny droplets are none other than the water vapor. And this very simple experiment shows that water is lost from the leaf surface in the form of water vapor. Now arrangement of leaves. As you all know that leaves comprise plants, all the plants have the leaves. So arrangement of leaves in the plant is known as the phyllotaxy. That means different plants have different leaf arrangement, and the study of this leaf arrangement of leaves on the stem of the plant is known as the phyllotaxy. So basically there are 3 kinds of arrangements of the leaves. Okay, and this will be clear after going through the figures. Come to page number 17. Here you can see the schematic representation. Phyllotaxy, 3 kinds of arrangement you can see over here: alternate, opposite and whorl. So from the name itself you can just make out ki alternate means from one node only one leaf will be arising, and that too in opposite way of the stem. Okay. Here you can see the leaves are alternate. From one node only one leaf is coming out and the other one is coming out on the other part of the stem. In opposite, they are from a single node, 2 leaves are coming out but they are opposite to each other. And whorl, more than 2 leaves are coming out, that too in a group at a single node. So as such you can see the 3 kind of arrangements of the leaves in the plants. Now modifications of the plants. The word modification itself means change. So what kind of change? Structural change. It means change in the structure of the leaves. So sometimes plant have to adapt to the near about environment in a way to survive over there. And for this very reason the plant makes certain changes in its structures. That very changes is known as the modification of the leaves. So first is leaf tendrils. Have you seen a pea plant? What you have seen? As you can see here, in this very plant, the upper portion, the thin extensions from the stem is coming out. They are the curled one. This is the thin thread-like coiled strands. This is known as the leaf tendrils, and they have very sensitivity to touch. Sensitive to touch. It means they coil upon the things for support in order to provide support to the weaker stem. Okay, these kind of modification you can see in the plants, that those who are having very weak stem, and they come out and they coil around about the nearby objects in order to provide strength to the stem of that very plants, and they help in climbing. Okay, and the examples is wild pea and glory lily. Now leaf spines. This all of you must have noticed in the nearby areas also. Have you seen the cactus? So in the cactus, the leaf are being modified into the spines. Why? In order to reduce the loss of water from the surface. And this kind of plant you can see in the desert area, because this is the xerophytic adaptations in order to survive in the desert where water is very present in a very less amount. The plant can't get the sufficient amount of water. So what they do, they modify their leaf into the spines in order to reduce the loss of water. And the example is cactus, berries, prickly poppy. Now scaly leaves. Have you seen onion or garlic? So what happens when you just peel off onions? Scales like are coming out. That are the scale leaves, and that very scale leaves protect the inner buds of the onion. Okay, and have you seen the garlic? As you just peel off the skin of the garlic, you can see now the skin is coming out. That is none other than the scale leaves. These very adaptations help that very plant, the inner buds of that very plant, to be protected. Now modification in leaves in the insectivorous plants. So changes in the leaves of the insectivorous means the plants that feed on insects. Okay, they are the carnivorous plants because they feed on other insects. Herbaceous, it means it is a herb, and their height is not more than 30 centimeter. They are found in damp areas, bogs, swamps, muddy or sandy shores, and where there is abundant water. Water will be present in a sufficient amount, but the nitrogen material they can't get in a sufficient quantity, and in order to accomplish that nitrogen deficiency, they develop the habit to feed on the insect, because insect provide them the nitrogenous material that is required for their survival and growth. Now turn the page to page number 18. Here you can see that most of the plants are green. Most of the insectivorous plants are green in color. Through the photosynthesis, they also prepare their food, but in order to gain nitrogen, what they do, they feed upon the insect. So what they have the habit to trap the insect, to capture it and then digest it, and they make this trap very cleverly. Okay, their leaves are modified in such a way so that it can trap the insect, and once the insect get inside to that very structure, it can't come out. Now the digestion in the plants is similar to those of the animals. As that of the animals, the digestion in these plants is of similar kind, and the end product is particularly the nitrogenous compound. As I told you now, with the plants, these kind of plants where they grow, they can't get the nitrogen in a sufficient amount. That's why they feed on the insect in order to get the nitrogenous compound. And the nitrogen compound that they gain from the insect, the whole plant absorbed it. Okay. You must have seen the picture plants. Okay. In books and different channels. Okay, when we talk about the insectivorous plants, we have to go through the picture plants. So as you see in the picture, the leaf is modified into the sac-like kind of structure, and a lid kind of thing is also developed. Once the insect go inside this very structure, the lid get closed up and the insect can't come out, because inside this sac-like structure hairs are present that are pointing toward a downward direction, and some sticky kind of substance is present over there. Once an insect got inside it, it gets stick to that very thing and it can't come out, and ultimately it die in this very structure. And then this plant surface release some secretive juices, digestive juices, and that digestive juices break down the insect and they produce a nitrogenous compound, and as such the whole pitcher plant get the nitrogenous compound that is required for its survival. Now the other example of the insectivorous plants is bladderwort. In bladderwort, leaves are highly segmented. It means a lot of lines, okay, like a lot of segment, lot of lining kind of structure thing is present in their plant bodies, and it's modified into sac-like bladders, okay. And the bladder has a trap door. As the insect gets inside it, the door get closed and it can't come out. And this kind of modification can be seen in aquatic plant known as Utricularia. Now Venus fly trap. In this plant, the edge of a leaf, as you can see in this figure, this is a Venus fly trap. The edge of the leaf, okay, that is the leaf blade, they are modified into a spine kind of structure, and the midrib is divided into two portions. As the insect come and sit over here, this structure get closed down, interlock, these spines get interlocked, and the insect can't come out, okay, can't escape from that very plant, and they ultimately secrete digestive juices, and this and as such the plant get the nitrogenous compound from these very insect. Now vegetative propagation. Vegetative propagation means it is an asexual method of reproduction. Reproduction means production of the new plants, okay, and asexual means without any mating, reproduction through the vegetative plants, that can be stem, root, leaves, okay. So the kind of propagation where the new plants are produced through the vegetative parts of the plant, that can be root, stem or leaves, is known as a vegetative propagation or vegetative reproduction. Now come to page number 19. Now vegetative propagation is a kind of production where new plants are being produced, and what happens the new plants are being produced through the buds, okay. The buds remain attached to the old plants and they are present in a dormant condition. It means they are not in a active state, okay. And what happens, these buds from the dormant state in the older plants, they under the presence of the suitable condition, when the conditions get favorable, okay, adequate food, moisture, warmth, when the birds are getting, they just develop into the new plants. And examples of plants that can be grown through the vegetative propagation are rose, champa, okay, potato, ginger, turmeric, sweet potato, dahlia, mint, sugarcane, banana, bryophyllum, strawberry. All these plants can be reproduced through the vegetative propagation. Now vegetative propagation by leaves. As you know, there is a plant, here you can see a figure, on the edge of its leaf, it means on the leaf blade, another leaf, small leaflets are rising. So in this kind of vegetative propagation by leaves, what happen, on the leaf blade has the different small leaflets, and as the leaf fall from the main plant and it just get into the soil, these tiny leaflet, they develop into the new whole plants, and in this way this plant can be propagated. So the examples of the leaves or the examples of the plants in which this kind of propagation by leaves is happening is Bryophyllum and Begonia, okay. Now students, we have completed the chapter and now it's the time for assignments. In assignment you are supposed to do 2 questions. First of all, in page number 19 you can see test for understanding, fill in the blanks. You are supposed to do this very questions, all the 5, and then turn the pages to page number 16. In this page number also you are supposed to do this test your understanding. State whether true or false. Thank you.